From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha Ashraf. Our top story for today. A new survey by Data for Progress reveals that a majority of American voters oppose Donald Trump's plan for the U.S. to take control of Gaza. The poll, conducted among more than 1,200 likely voters, found that 64% reject the idea. This includes 85% of Democrats and 63% of independents. Even among Republicans, opinions are divided. 46% support the idea, while 43% oppose it. Trump recently proposed that the U.S. take over and own Gaza and transform it from what he called a demolition site into the Riviera of the Middle East. His plan would require the forced resettlement of Gaza's 1.8 million Palestinian residents into neighboring countries. Critics argue this amounts to ethnic cleansing and a blatant violation of international law, which forbids the forcible transfer of a civilian population. Military experts also warn that forcing Palestinians out of Gaza would likely lead to armed resistance from Hamas. In related news, Jordan's Prime Minister Jafar Hassan has firmly rejected any idea to resettle Palestinians from Gaza. Hassan told Parliament no resettlement, displacement, or solutions at Jordan's expense. He stressed the Palestinian cause must be resolved within Palestine. Hassan's remarks follow President Donald Trump's proposal to take control of Gaza, redevelop it, and build hotels and offices in the region. During his visit to Washington this week, Jordan's King Abdullah also expressed strong opposition to any forced displacement of Palestinians. Despite pressure from Washington, he rejected resettlement plans, but agreed to treat 2,000 critically ill children from Gaza. Hassan told Jordan, along with Egypt and Arab allies, is working on a joint stance for Gaza's reconstruction. He emphasized that Jordan will not act alone on Palestinian issues. For decades, Israel has occupied Palestinian, Syrian, and Lebanese territories, refusing to withdraw or recognize an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has fired 4 employees. This is for authorizing what it calls egregious payments to house migrants in New York City hotels. The Department of Homeland Security announced the terminations on Tuesday. It has vowed to hold officials accountable and prevent what it claims were deep state actions that threaten public trust. The agency also says the employees bypassed leadership to approve excessive spending. FEMA is now under review and investigation for alleged mismanagement. Among those dismissed are FEMA's chief financial officer, 2 program analysts, and a grant specialist. President Donald Trump slammed FEMA on his platform, Truth Social, calling it slow and ineffective and accusing it of favoring Democrat-run areas. The scandal comes as FEMA faces growing pressure amid escalating natural disasters. The House of Representatives is set to vote on a new immigration bill targeting migrants who evade Border Patrol. Republican Congresswoman Lisa McClain introduced the Agent Raul Gonzalez Officer Safety Act. It is named after a Border Patrol agent who died in 2022. The bill would create new criminal penalties for using a motor vehicle to flee a Border Patrol agent within 100 miles of the United States border. Those penalties would increase if the offense resulted in death or serious injury. The bill would deport or bar migrants from the U.S. if they admitted to or were convicted of this offense. McClain said the law sends a strong message to illegal migrants, drug traffickers, and smugglers. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise confirmed the bill will be sent to the Senate, where it is expected to pass. The move follows President Donald Trump's recent signing of the Laken Riley Act, which cracks down on non-citizens charged with crimes. Steve Bannon has pleaded guilty to defrauding donors in a scheme linked to President Donald Trump's border wall project. The 71-year-old former Trump advisor admitted in a New York court that he misused funds raised through the We Build the Wall campaign. Prosecutors said Bannon funneled donations to himself through third-party entities. As part of a plea deal, Bannon avoids prison but faces a 3-year conditional discharge. He is banned from running charities or fundraising. This is Bannon's second criminal conviction. He previously served 4 months for defying a congressional subpoena over the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol by supporters of President Trump. Though Trump pardoned Bannon for similar federal charges, he could not intervene in state-level offenses. President Donald Trump has signed an order giving Elon Musk's team authority over federal job cuts. The executive order directs agencies to work with Musk's team to slash jobs and limit hiring to essential positions in the federal workforce of 2.2 million. The order excludes national security, law enforcement, and immigration. Critics say the move bypasses Congress's authority over federal spending. Musk's team is also investigating the wealth of federal employees, suggesting some may have suspicious fortunes. Legal experts argue this violates constitutional protections against unlawful searches. Public protests have erupted over giving Musk access to sensitive government data. Many in Congress oppose his growing influence. Democrats demand Musk's team out of a CFPB. Details come after the break. Stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome back. Nearly 200 Democratic lawmakers want Elon Musk's team removed from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB. Lawmakers Elizabeth Warren and Maxine Waters called Musk's involvement dangerous. In a letter to top officials, Democrats accused Musk and President Donald Trump of trying to dismantle the CFPB, which protects consumers from financial abuse. They urged officials to restore its operations and keep politics out. The letter, signed by 46 senators and 143 House members, warned that Trump's moves benefit billionaire backers at the expense of Americans. Israeli soldiers defaced Palestinian homes in Gaza with offensive graffiti, including insults targeting Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Anadolu news agency captured images of the hate-filled inscriptions in Hebrew on the walls of bombed-out houses. Phrases including Muhammad is dead and the people of Israel live were found alongside extremist slogans calling for ethnic cleansing. Soldiers also drew Israeli flags and caricatures on Palestinian homes. Residents returning after a ceasefire that came into effect on January 19th were shocked to see the graffiti. Despite the agreement, Israeli forces have continued attacks using drones, killing civilians, including children and the elderly. Gaza's media office warns that humanitarian conditions remain dire due to Israel's delay in implementing the truce. The Israeli army has intensified its operations in the West Bank, launching a raid on Al-Far'a refugee camp in Pbuh city. As part of ongoing raids on Palestinian villages, Israeli forces stormed a kindergarten and the Al-Far'a refugee camp, according to Wafa news agency. Palestine TV also reports that the army blew up a shop in the camp. The Al-Far'a camp has been under an Israeli assault for 9 days. Dozens of Palestinian families have been displaced, infrastructure and civilian property has been destroyed, and roads bulldozed or blocked during the raid. In the central West Bank, Israeli forces assaulted a 73-year-old woman and her sons while they were sitting outside their home in Turmus Aya. Israeli forces also raided the village of Nabi Saleh, northwest of Ramallah, though no injuries or arrests were reported. In the southern West Bank, eyewitnesses told Anadolu news agency the Israeli military stormed the Al-Arub refugee camp and the town of Sa'ir, northeast of Hebron. The Israeli escalation in the West Bank follows a ceasefire and prisoner exchange deal in Gaza on January 19th, after more than 15 months of Israel's genocide in the region. Since it began on October 7th, 2023, Israel has killed nearly 60,000 Palestinians, mostly women and children, and devastated the enclave. Israeli forces and settlers have also killed at least 910 Palestinians across the occupied West Bank, according to the Ministry of Health. Austria's far-right Freedom Party and center-right People's Party have decided to introduce a headscarf ban for girls under the age of 14 in schools. The move comes as part of a coalition negotiations, according to a leaked government program draft. Described in Austrian media as a confidential protocol, it outlines a consensus on banning headscarves in schools. It also talks about increasing state control on Islamic religious education. The document refers to the headscarf as a tool of coercion and suggests extending the ban to public institutions. The draft proposes stricter immigration policies, cuts to social benefits, and an end to Turkey's EU accession process. Austria has yet to form a new government despite having general elections on September 29th. Ongoing talks between FPO and OVP have stalled on key issues. The FPO, known for its pro-Russian stance, has clashed with OVP on Austria's relations with the EU. The far-right party is also demanding control of the Interior and Finance ministries. India witnessed a 74% rise in anti-Muslim hate speech in 2024, according to a new report by the India Hate Lab, or IHL. The report documented 1,165 incidents, with 931 occurring in states ruled by the Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party. 3 of these, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh, accounted for nearly half of these incidents. The 2024 election saw a sharp increase in hate speech, with BJP leaders delivering more than 450 inflammatory remarks. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was responsible for delivering 63 hate speeches. Home Minister Amit Shah and Chief Minister of largest state of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, also fueled anti-Muslim rhetoric. The report warns that political rallies, religious gatherings, and social media platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter, have amplified hate speech. They have spread calls for violence, economic boycotts, and religious site demolitions. Despite growing evidence, the BJP denies accusations, calling the report an attack on India's image. Jailed Kashmiri lawmaker Sheikh Abdul Rashid addressed the Indian Parliament on Tuesday. A Delhi court allowed him to attend the session. He demanded a probe into recent civilian killings in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Known as Engineer Rashid, he attended his first session since winning the North Kashmir seat last year. Rashid said Kashmiri blood is not cheap and called for justice. He referred to 2 civilian deaths last week. One was truck driver Wasim Ahmed Mir, and the other was Makan Deen. A police probe is underway. Rashid remains in Delhi's Tihar jail over foreign funding charges. He was arrested in 2019. Before parole, he staged a hunger strike in jail. He also urged better transport and communication for more border areas. Meanwhile, an Indian Army captain and a soldier died in an IED blast near the line of control that divides India and Pakistan-administered parts of Jammu and Kashmir. Despite an expected 20 billion robots serving humans by 2050, reshaping jobs and daily life, major global challenges persist. UAE Minister Mohammed Al-Qarqawi made this prediction at the World Government Summit 2025 in Dubai. He warned that while technology advances rapidly, issues like conflict, declining trust in governments, and poverty still plague the world. He said 630 million people still live in extreme poverty, requiring $800 billion annually to eradicate hunger, provide universal education, and improve healthcare. Al-Qarqawi projected that by 2050, the global population will reach 10 billion, with a growing elderly population demanding stronger healthcare systems. He also predicted a $4 trillion space economy and a revolution in education through human augmentation. The summit, which runs through Friday, features world leaders and key speakers, including Elon Musk, IMF chief Kristalina Georgieva, and the prime ministers of Kuwait and Pakistan. Closing take 2. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.